Please install AxxonNext software on a hard disk with sufficient space. If you have insufficient system disk capacity, we recommend that you specify another disk during selective installation. Here are a few examples of Axxon soft items that occupy the most free space on the system disk: the metadata database, Postgres events database, and log files. Note, you can set the log file retention time and size via the log management utility. We recommend you set the logging level to info. Logs recorded with this setting include fewer details, only system messages, warnings, and errors will be logged. Please take your time to estimate the required disk space to install AxxonNext. When doing so, consider the size of the Postgres events database, which can be calculated using the following formulas. You can use the following formulas to estimate the size of the metadata database. Important: the metadata database will be overwritten if you have less than 5 GB of free disk space. That means new data is recorded over the oldest data entries. Let's take a look at an example of selective installation for AxxonNext with a different disk specified. Select the server and client installation type. This is the point when you can specify a folder on a different disk to install AxxonNext, if needed. Set custom during this step. Select a different drive letter to configure folders and metadata. Now finish the installation. Please note that the current version does not allow a separate disk and folder for installing the Postgres events database to be specified. The events database will be installed on the system disk regardless of any selections made. AxxonSoft plans to introduce an option to select a separate disk for the events database when installing the software. You can use the Option tab to adjust the events retention time in the database. You can use the period field to set the number of days to store Postgres events data and corresponding metadata. In the System Log Cleanup period field, you can set the time interval between system log checks. For example, all events in the database will be checked once every 24 hours, and events older than 30 days will be deleted. If a failover configuration is in place, you can specify a disk to store the events database in Supervisor Web Interface settings. If you want to change the path to the events database, please contact the help desk AxxonSoft support.